Welcome to Bologna, a vibrant city in northern Italy, known for its rich history, medieval architecture and world-class cuisine. I didn't know much about the place before I arrived, except that pasta is involved obviously. I had just one day to explore, not nearly enough to do it justice, but hopefully enough to leave me, and you, craving more. Let's dive in. The first thing that I noticed about Bologna was its dynamic street art. Every wall seemed to have a story, but with the weather being so bad, I spent more time ducking under archways to escape the rain. Little did I know that these archways would be one of the most prominent features of Bologna. I arrived at the place I was staying, complete with jukebox and reception. So I've checked in to where we're staying tonight, and what a place this is. Let me quickly show you what we have here. Got a nice double bed there. Nice decor on the walls. The door out to reception. But how comfortable does that chair look there? Oh my god, I'm going to try it out now. Yes, this is definitely the life. Wow. So comfy, I'd really fall asleep right now. See you in the next one. We've got a TV here to watch all our favourite shows on Netflix. But of course, we're not in Bologna to watch TV. We're here to eat. Nice mirror there. And then check this part out here. You've got your own mini fridge. Let's have a look, see what's inside. A couple of bottles of water. Obviously you can buy your own drinks and fill it up. But then on the top, check the freebies out here. Tea and coffee machine. I mean, that's not for me, but this is my part here. Let's lift it out, put it on the bed, see what we have. We've got some biscuits. It's like a sponge cake. I've heard of biscotti, but I've never heard of discotti. What's that, like an Oreo? And then this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. The bathroom's in a separate area, which seems to be the norm in Italy. It's got everything: toilet, shower and bidet. Looks nice enough, but walking through reception every time might get a bit awkward. So we are on the third floor of this apartment here, and it's got a cracking view outside. I'm going to show you. And outside right now the weather is absolutely horrific. It's chucking it down, but this city is designed very well, where they've got lots of archways where you can just walk under and you don't get wet. Nice view across the road. Penthouse suite, is it? And there's a nice church around the corner at the end of the street. And then look down below at street level. You see all these walkways? You're not going to get wet in this weather, are you? Right, I'm actually pretty hungry right now. Bologna, of course, is known as the food capital of Italy, so we've got lots of choice here. I've heard tagliatelle al ragù. There's supposed to be something really good to try, so let's try and find some. So as I said before, I have come to Bologna at the worst possible time. There's like red weather warnings for heavy rain and flooding. The flooding that you've seen in Poland recently, in Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, it's now heading to Italy the day that I come here. It wouldn't happen any other way, would it? But the beauty of Bologna is you don't have to stand outside and get soaked for too long. You don't need your umbrella too much. Because they have these archways everywhere, you can just walk under and you're pretty much protected from the elements. Well, you can walk 1 kilometre, you can walk 2 kilometres, you'll be protected from the rain. And this is what I'm talking about. If you look straight ahead, see all these arches? They're pretty wide, you can fit 2 people wide down them. And you don't need to get soaked by the rain. You can walk for miles under these columns. It's beautiful. See, I don't need this umbrella on now because I am undercover. Anyone thirsty? I bet you're glad you stayed at home now, Ella. Wow. This day would have been a write-off without these portico walkways. They're a lifesaver. While the weather calmed down a bit, my hunt for food was a different story. Of course, being Italy, the 4 or 5 restaurants I'd researched were either fully booked
needed reservations, or had a line stretching out the door. So I gave up on tagliatelle for today and grabbed pizza to go. And just as the heavy rain started up again, I decided to call it quits and headed back to the hotel.
So it's a new day here, and oh my god, the weather is absolutely horrific. This rainstorm that's been all over Central Europe, it's arrived here in Bologna. But the beauty of Bologna is that they have all these archways, so you can walk through most of the city and stay dry. Just have a look at this. I'm a little bit hungry now, so we're going to go try and find some breakfast, see what we can find.
I stepped out of the rain and into a bakery, and wow, there was a lot to choose from. In the end, I went for a ham and cheese croissant, a macaroon, and of course a sugar hit from a Coke. There's just no let up here, is there? I wonder what he's selling.
So just a quick review about the guest house that I was staying in last night. It was a lovely place, I've got to say. Very nice. Bed was super comfortable. Pillows nice and fluffy. Really soft. Had a really good night's sleep. Just a couple of minor negatives. The bathroom, first of all, wasn't attached to the place that I was staying in. I had to go into a corridor through the reception to go to it. So yeah, it was a private bathroom. I had my own key, but I had to walk through reception to get to the bathroom, which is a bit of an inconvenience. So if you go into the bathroom, that's fair enough, but you don't really want to be coming out the shower when there's people in reception area. They let you store your luggage there as well, so I'm out walking the streets of Bologna and my luggage is nice and safe in that guest house, so that's a good plus as well. Yeah, all in all, I think it was a good stay there. Just a couple of negatives, probably 7.5, 8 out of 10 I would give it. Just wanted to show you a couple of things, graffiti basically. What do you think of it? I'm going to show you a couple of instances of it, one where it's really bad and then one where it's amazing.
So amazing artwork in the middle and then complete and utter abomination either side of it. What is the point? And another example.
I took a stroll down this street late last night and it's a spectacular street. The artwork here is out of this world. Check it out. The rain seems to have settled down a bit now. It's not a torrential downpour, you know, that big old fat rain. It's just a bit of a light drizzle now. You can walk and not get too soaked in this weather. You can see who this artist's inspired by. Shades of Vincent van Gogh. They look like jelly babies, these ones. This was probably my favourite piece of street art. And this Elvis one from a different neighbourhood, a close second. So what do you think of that? That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Some talented artists about. I'm going to show you this garage here and tell me what you think about it. You've got the one on the right, pretty cool artwork, but on the left, all that graffiti there. What does that add to this street? Doesn't add anything, does it? I wonder how long it took to build that.
You can see one of the two towers behind the construction.
I think this archway coming up is probably the best one I've seen yet. Check this out.
I told you the weather was bad. Marble flooring, how ornate. This is definitely the best section of walkways we've seen so far.
I finally found somewhere that does tagliatelle al ragù, where you don't need a reservation, it's not packed to the rafters. It's a bit of a risk, but we're going to find out, see what it's like. I can't wait. That looks absolutely delicious. I can't wait to tuck into that. So we're tucking in at this tagliatelle al ragù. Got a bit of cheese on the top as well. It's really nice. €8, not too bad, is it? There's nobody here. I'm the only one here. I did try to get the tagliatelle in other places in Bologna. I've tried about 5 or 6 so far. But unfortunately, the places, they're either fully booked out or you need a reservation, or there's like a massive crowd out the door. And unfortunately, I've only got a day here, so time is of an essence. So I'm just tucking in, watching the world go by either side of me. Cheers to Bologna. It's very nice, and it's a good price as well. Yeah, that tagliatelle al ragù, absolutely delicious. Bella, bellissimo. So, I've decided to go for more food. I asked the woman, either lasagne or tortellini. We've decided to go for lasagne on her recommendation, so we can't wait for this one. This is good stuff. No wonder they call it the food capital of Italy. And the good thing about eating outside, you can just people watch the world go by. I think I'm in food heaven here. This lasagna is even better than the one I had before, the tagliatelle. The taste, it's amazing. Look at that. That is incredible. It's only €8 as well. So I thought today, in this little cafe that I'm in, that I'd only be getting one nice meal. We've actually got 2 nice meals. It's time well spent and money well spent. So that's 2 main Italian courses down, tagliatelle and lasagna. Both were excellent. The woman's actually talked me into a dessert now. So here's the tiramisu.
Looks tasty, doesn't it?
This tiramisu is really nice as well. Don't normally go for it dessert wise, but when in Italy, why not? Very tasty. So I didn't think I was going to get any Italian food, but we've managed to get 2 mains and a dessert. So job well done.
This historic area marks the centre of Bologna. Piazza Maggiore on one side, the famous 2 towers on the other. The city's heart, surrounded by stunning architecture and lively crowds. Well, when it's not raining. And the towers? You hear about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but no one ever talks about the Leaning Tower of Bologna. Check the lean out on this.
So we're up close and personal to the 2 towers, and I've got to say, one of them looks like it's about to fall over. I mean, it's not the greatest camera angle, but that tower is definitely wonky. It looks like it's about to topple over.
Right next to the 2 towers, I stumbled across an indoor court. A covered space with cafes, people catching up over coffee, and a bit of local pride on display. I'm guessing there's a club shop tucked in here too. This was a very beautiful part of town.
pathways that you walk across. They stretch for miles. It could be peanut down, it could be snowing. You're not going to feel it because you're covered.
Walking through the old town, you could really feel the weight of history around you. Grand architecture, centuries old buildings, and that unmistakable charm that makes Bologna so special.
This is the widest pathway yet.
Porticos on both sides? Wow.
I was thinking of moving to Bologna, then I saw the prices of property.
Remember me saying about how magnificent the history and architecture was here? Check the statues out in here. I actually stumbled across this place because I needed the toilet, but I've got a very interesting fact about this building, and also, wait till I show you the ceiling.
I'm in a bit of a rush, but I do believe that I've just been in the oldest university in the world, the University of Bologna. Who knew that it would be the oldest in the world? This is incredible.
Just look at that ceiling. Shades of the Sistine Chapel, definitely. That is epic. Medieval Bologna once had over 100 towers, part status symbol, part defence mechanism. Now, only about 22 remain, and these two, named Asinelli and Garisenda, they've been here since the 12th century. The most famous survivors, standing or leaning, they've seen it all. Welcome to Piazza Maggiore, the main square of Bologna. It's usually buzzing with crowds, but today it's just me in the rain. This historic square dates back to the 13th century. It's home to the stunning Basilica di San Petronio, and also the famous Neptune fountain. Guess even the locals stay inside when it's this wet. Let's pop inside the Basilica. This place is enormous.
That church was enormous. I don't think I've ever been in a church that big before, honestly. It felt so tiny and insignificant inside that. It must have took them years to build that. Ah, hello. What do we have here?
More rain, of course. After nearly non-stop showers in Bologna, I fled to escape it. And guess what? I found where the sun's been hiding. But hey, you'll catch that adventure in the next video. And look at that. I came back to Bologna and I brought the sun back with me. Piazza Maggiore, sunny skies and a crowd that's just as lively as the city.
Troppa luce dentro la stanza, questo caldo che avanza, Dio non dormirà. E scusa se non parlo abbastanza, ma una squadra di danza nello stadio.
My goal on returning to Bologna? To tackle the longest walk to the top of a hill, under the portico di San Luca. That's 3.8 kilometers of covered arches. And yes, I'm still pretending it's all part of the plan to burn off all that Italian food. The end point? A cathedral at the top, with panoramic views, so it's not a bad goal to aim for.
So these porticos, the archways, they stretch for miles in Bologna. It's actually a UNESCO Heritage Site. Check how long they're going for.
You can't help but marvel at the architecture.
not going to lie, this is hard work getting to the viewpoint. I hope it's worth it in the end. Honestly, this seems never ending. I'm out of breath. I hope the top's in sight. The finish line's in sight, and it can't come quick enough. And the top tip, if you are going to do this, bring a bottle of water with you. I really could do with one right now. Obviously there's plenty of places to get a bottle of water when you're in the old town, but once you leave the flat and it starts to go uphill, you're going to wish that you had that bottle of water, trust me. Of course, the final climb has to be over 100 steps. Wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
What a view. Where's that noise coming from? Looks like I wasn't the only one with this idea. This place is pretty popular on a sunny afternoon, but with views like this, I get it. Stunning countryside ahead, Bologna spread out below, not a bad reward for the climb.
I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty epic, isn't it? Worth the 1.5 hour hike to get up here? No, not really, but it does look beautiful. The one good thing though about the journey back, it's all downhill.
So that was my brief time in Bologna, a beautiful city with history, amazing food and just a little bit of rain. And speaking of food, I finally got into a restaurant on my last night. Meatballs, tagliatelle and chocolate cake. Not a bad way to end the trip. But just a word of warning, make sure you book your table in advance to avoid disappointment. But Bologna, from street art to portico hikes, it had it all. A perfect introduction that's left me wanting more. I'll be back for sure. But for now, it's time to hit the road again. See you in the next adventure.